Question 4 is a probability question. Again, I want to reiterate, the only time we use these words for probability is if they give it to us. Any other probability type of question must be a fraction answer. A fraction answer or a decimal answer. Absolutely, we do not use these unless they give it to us. So first one is obviously impossible, second one is unlikely, and the third one is evens because there's 3 odd numbers and 3 even numbers. Question 5, 4 8s plus 6 is 38, 6 times 4 is 24 plus 14 is 38, 4 11s is 44 minus 6 gives you 38. Standard questions. Question 6, standard question about percentages. 20% is 2 over 10. 38 divided by 10, remember the decimal moves 1 to give you 3.85. Multiply by that 2 gives you £7.20. So the VAT is £7.20. If they had asked how much would the new price be, you would add the 38.50 plus the 7.20. Okay? Question 7, an algebra question. Okay, don't be put off by this. N represents any whole number. So N is just a number. N and the next whole number in the number line and the next one after that are added together. What type of number is the answer? Okay, 2 ways of doing it. Let's look at the algebra. So that's N. N is just any number. Think of a number, that's N. The next one, the one beside it is just N plus 1. And then the next one is 2 away from that's N plus 2. So when you add that, it gives you N and N and N, which is 3N. 1 and 2, which is 3. So the answer is 3N plus 3, or you could make it shorter, 3 brackets N plus 1. Factorize it. However, you can use numbers. Let's say the first number we picked was 3. So that number is 3. The next number beside 3 is 4. And then the one after that is 5. So 3 plus 4 plus 5 gives you 12, which is in the 3 times table, so multiple of 3. Or let's say we pick 4. 4 plus 5 plus 6 is 15, which is also a multiple of 3. So basically, all we're doing is taking this algebra here and actually just sticking numbers in. Okay, don't be put off by this here. Just work your way through it to see if you can cut through all the spiel and understand what they're asking you to do. N is just a number, 3. The next number in the number line beside 3 is 4. And the one after that is 2 away, which is 5. Okay, so you could pick any numbers. You could have picked, 10 plus 11 plus 12. Okay, so 10 plus 11 is 21, plus 12 is 33. And 33 is part of the 3 times tables as well. Okay, have a good look through that question again and see if you can work it out. Okay, a key piece of information in this question is the top line. To start a game, Dara must score a total of either a 2, a 5 or a 7 from throwing 2 fair dice. Complete the table to show all the possible totals. So he needs to throw a 2, a 5 or a 7 on throwing 2 dice. So first thing is first, these marks here are easy enough. What you do is you're adding these numbers. 1 and 1 is 2, 2 and 1 is 3, 3 and 1 is 4, 4 and 1 is 5. Take your time, folks. There's normally 2 or 3 marks for just putting in those numbers. That's plus. Sometimes it could be multiplied, but just follow whatever the rule is. Part B. What is the probability of Dara getting started straight away? Again, this has nothing to do with impossible, unlikely. If they're mentioned probability, it's a fraction answer. Now, how do you get started straight away? You either throw a 2, a 5 or a 7. So let's look how many 2s. There's a 2, a 5 and a 7 and a 5. I've boxed them all. When you add up, there's 11 of those. 36 numbers in total. You don't include these because these are part of the original dice. So it's 11 over 36. That's the probability. Question 9, just a standard mirror line that runs through the middle. You can just check that there. You could use tracing paper, but clearly the line must go there to allow this to reflect onto that. Question 10. Now please folks, do not get mixed up with this here. This is a standard enlargement question. They're saying rectangle C is enlarged to give D. So let's count. That's 3 squares. That's now 9 squares. So the scale factor is 3. It's 3 times. It's not double. It's nothing to do with area. If I had said what is the new area, it would be 3 times 3, which would be 9 times as big. So it's not double. It's just a scale factor, which is 3. So don't write in times 3 or 3 times. It's just a scale factor of 3. Scale factor of 3. That's the answer to that. If the question had asked as a second part, what's the new area? How much times bigger is the new area? the new area would be double double. So it would be 3 times 3, which would be 9. So the new area would be 9 times as big, but doesn't ask, it only specifically asks for scale factor. Okay, the area would be 9 times as big because that makes sense. It's only 3 of those, and there's 9, 8, there's 27. So 3 9s would be 27. Be very careful, folks, with the difference between a standard scale factor question and when they ask you the area of the new shape. Next question just says, name a triangle ABC is rotated 90 degrees about the clockwise about B. Name a side equal in length to BC. There's BC. So we can see that this length here, BE or EB, would be the same. Name an angle equal in size to angle BAC. What that means, BAC, is the middle one. We're looking to find the angle that's similar to this A. So we're looking to find an angle similar to that A. Okay, so if you look along, you can see a couple of them there. You can actually see there's BDE. Okay, so I've done BDE here. So BDE, so that's that one there. Or it could be EDB, which is, I'll just put the marker back on. So it could be BDE, or it could be EDB, which gets you to here as well. Or it could be CDE, any of those at all, any of these options. But the key thing to note is that D is the one that's the same as A. Okay. As a point of note, if we were looking to, for example, highlight this angle here, we could call that DEB because E's in the middle, or we could call it BED because E's in the middle. That's how you know the middle angle is the angle you're always looking at. Again, a probability question. There's 21 pieces inside of fudge. 6 are vanilla, 8 are walnut, the rest are raisin, which must mean the raisin is 7. What's the probability it's not vanilla? So not vanilla is this and this, which is 15 over 21, which can simplify down to give you 5 over 7. You could divide those by 3. And what's the probability if it's raisin? Again, raisin, we've worked out to 7 over 21, and you can make it smaller to 1/3. Okay, again, probability. If it doesn't give you possible, likely, evens, you must give probability in fraction answers. Okay, algebraic type of question again. Don't be put off by it. X pounds is shared equally among C children. Write down a formula for the amount A pounds that each child should receive. Okay, sometimes it's easier to put money in. Let's say it was £30. £30 is shared equally among 3 children. Write down a formula for the amount of money each child. Well, we know each child should get 10. So £10 is equal because 30 is divided by 3. I've made A, which is 10. I've made X, which is 30. And I've made C, which is 3. 30 divided by 3 is 10. That makes sense. So the formula is A, which is the amount of money we got, equals X, which is the total amount, divided by the number of children, C. So the formula is A equals X divided by C, or written this way, but put money in, it makes it a bit easier. So for example, I could use a different money. Let's say, for example, I used, let's say maybe it's £40. And there's 5 children, so how much would each child get? Well, 40 divided by 5 is 8. So that would be then £8 equals 40 divided by 5. Still the same thing. 8 is A, 40 is X, and the 5 is the C. Still gives you the same answer as this. Again, like everything in maths, guys, with those particular types of formula, algebraic stuff, just stick a few numbers in. It'll help you work it out. Next one is a distance, speed, time graph. You can clearly see it's something about somebody traveling somewhere, stopping off, and then traveling on. First things first, always work out the barrier going up here. These wee lines are going up in 2s. Always work with this is going up. This barrier here is going up in 3s. I think they're 3s. Okay, so like that's 9, 30, 33, 36, 39, 42. Yeah, that's 945. So they're going up in 3s. Up in 2s here, up in 3s here. So give a practical explanation for a horizontal. Give a practical explanation for this line. So, for example, we're going on a coach journey. So you could stop for a coffee. Could have been a toilet break. The driver could be putting some diesel. You must have an answer. You cannot just say they've stopped. That won't be acceptable. You have to give a practical explanation. So stop for something to eat, stop for a coffee break, toilet break, whatever. Don't just say stopped. Part B, calculate the average speed for the total journey from Bridgetown to Mayfield. So that's from here to here. Again, distance, speed, time. Put it in. What are you looking for? Average speed. Cover that off. So it's distance, which is, now they're going up in 2. So if you bring the ruler across there, that gives you 86. Divided by the time, which is 2. 86 divided by 2 is 43 kilometers per hour. You must put in kilometers per hour because it's kilometers, it's not miles. Don't just write 43. You'd only get 2 marks. You'd lose a mark. See, that extra mark is for putting in kilometers per hour. Okay, again, there's different ways of doing these type of questions. Some people just work out what way is going with the decimal. I just particularly like people using just rounding, making sense. So let's run through it. 32.5 is this one here. 2.4 is to do with this number here, which is the 24. So our answer is going to involve this 780. Okay, so I've made 32 into 30. 2.4 into 3. 30 times 3 is 90. So what can I do here with the decimal to make this look like 90? Well, if I stick the decimal in there, that's 78.0 or 78 point, or just 78. Next one. 78's got to do with this number. 24's got to do this number. So our answer is going to involve this 32.5. Again, 78 is 80. 24 is 20. 80 divided by 20 is 4. Where can I put the decimal to make this look like 4? Stick it in there. 3.25. And the last one, 2 ways of looking at it. 32.5 is there. There's no 12 though. This doesn't look like 12. But you can see that 12 is half of 24. So the answer must be half of 780. So you could do 780 divided by 2. 2 goes into 7, 3, remainder 1. 2 goes into 18, 9, and then 2 goes into 0. No. So it would be 390 doing it that way. Or if you're not too confident, just do the sum. 32.5 multiplied by 12 to give you 390. Either one of those two ways is acceptable, and that's how you get the answer for that. Next part is a question on transformations. Reflect triangle A in the line y equals 1. So this is triangle A. We need to know the line y equals 1. Y lines go across there. Reflect it, count the line. That's 2 down to give you here. That's 1 down to give you here. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4 down. 1, 2, 3, 4 give you there. Join it up. That's that shape there. 2 marks. Describe fully the single transformation that moves A to B. Well, there's 4 types of transformations. There's reflection, rotation, enlargement, and translation. This is shape A, this is shape B. Clearly it's not been made bigger or smaller, it's not enlargement. It's not been rotated because it's still looking exactly the same. So it must be translation. Remember, translation keeps the shape exactly the same. So all you do, as we said before, is just pick a point. The same point on both triangles. There's the point there, there's the point there. How have I gotten from A to B? Let's count across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down. Translation, 8 left, 5 down. Written -8, -5. Okay, this is quite a tricky question. It's actually quite tricky because the way they've worded it. Aidan, Ben and Caitlin all spin their spinners 20 times each. That's the key thing. So Aidan's thrown at 20, Ben's thrown at 20, and Caitlin's thrown at 20. They keep their scores, they keep track of their scores of 1, 2 and 3. So they're only keeping the scores of 1, 2 and 3 because look, if you count along here, Aidan has had 6 1s, 3 2s and 5 3s, but that only adds up to 14 spins. Now he's spun it 20 times. So where's the other 6 spins going to? Again, Ben has only spun 13, Caitlin has only spun 11. So we know for a fact Aidan has got 6 1s, Ben got 8 1s, and Caitlin got 6 1s. But the key thing to note is they spun it 20 times, but this is only part of the information. They all use the same one. They all use the same one of the following 4 spinners. So they've got W, X, Y, and Z. Which spinner do you think they used? Well, it has to be spinner Y. And here's why. Because it can't be spinner W or Z. It can't be either one of these two because W doesn't have the number 3. It's only got the numbers 1 and 2. And Z's only got 1 and 3. It hasn't got the number 2. So it can't, them two's out the door before we start. Out for that and out for that. Okay, now, it can't be spinner W or Z because W doesn't have a 3 and Z doesn't have a 2. Okay, It can't be X. It can't be this one either, because the tallies have to add up to 20. In other words, X is only giving you 1 and 2 and 3. So we know that, for example, Aidan got this amount of 1s and this amount of 2s and this amount of 3s, but that only gives him 14. So he's 6 spins missing, 6 spins that's not been recorded. So clearly it must be these numbers here. Aidan must have done some 4s and 5s and 6s, but it's just not recorded in this table. Okay, so it's quite tricky. I think it's important to note, the most important thing to note is that it can't be W or Z, because these two numbers, for example, they are missing number 3 and that's missing number 2. The reason why it can't be X is because if it just was 1, 2 and 3, they wouldn't have 20 spins. So it has to be, by process of elimination, Y. Okay, and the last question is the question on bisecting an angle, okay, with the compass and ruler. I'm going to spend just a few minutes going through this so we'll all understand. Okay, basically what they want you to do, first of all, with a ruler and a pair of compasses, bisect the angle ABC. That means, remember, the middle number, which is B. So we're going to be dealing with this angle B. Okay, and here's how you do it. Here's a good way to remember. If you have no arcs, these are the arcs. If you have no arcs, you get no marks. Alright, so the first thing you do is with the compass. From B, so put your compass point at B. Draw 2 arcs approximately halfway down the line, AB and AC. Okay, so what that means is this. Put your compass here, the point, and open your compass roughly about halfway. Doesn't have to be an exact science, but the thing to remember is whatever way you open it, you keep it open at that distance. So put your pencil there, put your compass here, mark it there, okay, and then swing it on across to here. Okay, you can do one big long arc, or you can just do it here and here. But them 2 arcs, 1 and 2, come from the compass point being here. So compass point here, open it up roughly halfway, draw that, and that gives you these new points 1 and 2. You then take your compass and you put your compass point here at number 1, and you draw another arc. Make sure that the compass hasn't changed distance at all. If it has, just go back and make sure it's the same distance. Put your compass point here, and that'll draw a new arc the same length, which will get you this arc here. Then you take it over to the point 2, exactly that point, and you draw your arc, which will get you this arc here. Now when you've done that, this arc and this arc will meet somewhere here, this in the middle. It'll meet somewhere. Wherever that is, mark that with an X. Okay, so you can see here I've said at arc 1 draw another arc. So at arc 1 you draw another one. At arc 2 you draw another one. So here you draw this, and then wherever they meet you mark it, and then all you do with a ruler is you join it straight from B, and that will cut that triangle ABC in half. Okay, and the next one now obviously is the calculator part, so have your calculator to hand and let's go through this paper. Question 1 is an estimating question. The shirt costs £8.15, which is £8. Trousers cost £19.95, which rounds to 20, and there's 30 staff. Estimate the total cost of the uniforms. Well, shirt is 30, and there's 30 staff, and it's £8 each, so that's 240. Trousers 30 staff by £20, which is 600, to give you an answer of 840. Now folks, even though this is a calculator, and clearly we could get the answer here, please show the examiner everything that they need to give you the mark. Do not just produce 840 without doing the markings. Calculator does not mean no workings. Calculator just helps you get the answer. And part B, now it's hard to read this particular question, but I've done it in previous videos. Common sense. Without using any further calculations, decide whether your estimate will be an overestimate or an underestimate. Well, this is what it means. It has to be an underestimate because we have taken 15p, 30 times 15p for the shirts, because the shirts cost £8.15 and we rounded that down to £8. So we've taken 15p. So 30 times 15p is £4.50 for the shirts, and the trousers. The trousers were rounded up to £20, so that was 5p more. So 30 times 5p is 150. So the actual cost, we've taken off £4.50 for the shirts, and we've added on 150 for the trousers. So in actual fact, we've underestimated. We've made it smaller than the actual price. So for example, the actual price will be more than £840. Okay, so lines of symmetry here, 2, obviously just the 1, and the 4 there, obviously because they're squares. Okay, now, this was the original drawing here, and you had to use symmetry to complete it. So this line is one away, which goes there. That line there is the same here. Now that line there is first of all the opposite of is the reflection of that line. We follow it on down. This line and this line and this line and this line are reflected of each other, and this line here is the reflection of that. Take your time, folks. Just use this line as the mirror line, and make sure you go the opposite side to make sure we've got it all correct. For rotational symmetry, please at all times use the tracing paper if you're not too sure. Trace this shape and turn it round itself before it gets back to the end, and it will fit on top of itself twice. Trace this shape, again it will fit on top of itself twice. Trace this shape, put the lines in, and when you turn it round and round and round, it'll fit on top of itself 4 times. Don't guess, use tracing paper at all times for rotational symmetry. Question 5, again, is a probability question. Under no circumstances use the words impossible, certain, evens, unless the examiner is specifically giving you that. Otherwise, probability is always fractions. So count them out, there's 6 of these, so that's why I've written 6. So probability Sarah gets a shape which is 4 sides, well there's 4 of those, so that's 4 over 6. Less than 3 sides, well there's none less than 3 sides. And less than 4 sides, well there's one shape less than 4 sides, and that's 1 over 6. Okay, there's a question about conversion. We want to work out, basically what we have is we have a 5 litre can. You can imagine one of those cans of jerry cans that you fill up with petrol. And we want to know basically, Gary has 1 gallon of petrol, and we want to know basically will he be able to put that gallon of petrol into this 5 litre can. So basically, gallons to litres multiplied by 4.5, litres to gallons divided by 4.5. So this is the jerry can, and it holds 5 litres. Well, 5 litres to gallons divides by 4.5, which gives you 1.1 gallon. So 5 litres, this 5 litre tin is the same as 1.1 gallons. So his can hold 1.1 gallons. He's only got 1 gallon of petrol, so yes, it'll hold it. It'll almost be full, but it'll not be completely full, because he's only got 1 gallon, and this thing here holds 1.1 gallon. Again, this is a conversion, but a wee bit more trickier, okay, because they're asking you for £1. So first thing to know, pounds to kilograms divide by 2.2, kilograms to pounds multiplied by 2.2. So it's 3.25 per kilogram, but they only want to know the cost of £1. So 3.25 pounds is 1 kilogram, so 3.25 is the same as 2.2 pounds, because kilograms to pounds is 2.2. So this is the same as this. 3.25 is the same as 2.2 pounds, because that's the same as a kilogram. But we only want the price of £1. So we need to take the 325 and divide it by that 2.2 to give you an answer of 1.477, and goes on and on. Remember, money we always round to 2 decimal places, so that's £1.48. Okay, £3.25 is the price for 2.2 pounds. But we only want the price of £1, which means we must divide this by this. This is a tricky conversion graph here, because they've actually put the conversion graph in for you. Normally our conversion graphs start at 0, and we normally put the numbers in ourselves. They normally give us a graph here and we put it in. But you'll see this is here, and for some reason it's starting at 40, it's not starting at 0. Now we need to understand what that means. But however, first things first, work out what the barriers are. These are going up in 2s, these are going up in 4s. Put that in, you'll need it at some stage. Martha hired a car, the hire cost in return was 52 quid. Use the graph to find out how many miles Martha travelled. Well, let's go to £52. That's the price here. That's why you need to know what these are going up in. 52 across, hit that line, come straight down, draw it in with your ruler. You'll realise that gives you 48 miles. Now, I need to talk very quickly about this now. See here, normally it starts at 0, but it's starting at 40 here. And what that means is that if you've travelled no miles at all, you're actually paying £40. See that? If it was down here, no miles is no money. But if it was up here, where it's starting, look, you haven't travelled any miles, but you started to pay £40. In other words, £40, as soon as you put your foot into the taxi, you're paying £40, or the hire car, whatever it is. If it was up here, you'd be paying 70 quid before you started. Normally, if it was here, it would be nothing. But it's up here at 40. Now, we need this information for the next part of this question, on the next page. So shorten this down. Bring the other question up. That's why I've said tricky at the top. The hire car is made up of fixed charge plus a charge for the number of miles. How much is the fixed charge? Well, the fixed charge is the 40 quid, because what that means is no matter what, no matter how many miles you've done or whatever, you're paying 40 quid before you start. So the fixed charge here, I've said from the graph, 0 miles, it still costs £40. So you pay £40 of a fixed charge before you do anything. Now, how much is the charge per mile? So this is where it gets a wee bit tricky. So in part A, we worked out the previous question. If you go to the last, in part A, we worked out Martha was charged £52. So she was charged £52 for 48 miles. So what you need to do first of all, she was charged 52 quid. You need to take the 40 quid off first, because that's a standard fixed charge. That means she was charged £12 for her 48 miles. If you think about it, £52 for 48 miles is what she travelled. Take the 40 quid off, because that's the 40 quid. No matter what, she charges £40 before she starts. That leaves £12 left for the 48 miles. So you do 12 divided by 48 is 0.25 or 25p per mile. Do not do 48 divided by 12. It's 12 divided by 48. So she pays 25p per mile. And then the third part is to write down the formula. And the formula would be H, which is H equals 40 plus 0.25 M, which is mile. Okay, so H is the higher, that's the cost. If you think £48 equals the 40 plus the 25p a mile. So H is the money, which is 40, which is the fixed cost, plus 25p per mile. Okay, question 7. I've actually done these answers in previous videos. One decimal place, arrow at the 5, box it off. This 5 will change it to 3.6. Put 2 digits in to give you an answer to 2 decimal places. That has to be 4.69. And then over here you've a couple of examples. This can be 5596 or 5612, which rounds to 5600 to 2 significant figures. Because if you put an arrow at the 5, box it off, the 9 will change it. You put an arrow at the 6, box it off, the 1 won't change it. So there's lots of different answers here you can use to get to 5600. Again, I've done this question in other videos as well. The question is really saying the diagrams are not drawn to scale. The area of the rectangle, which is this here, this is 4 times the area of the triangle. So this here is 4 times larger than this. Clearly what they want you to do is to work out the area of both. So we can work the area out of the triangle. Remember, it's base times the height. Remember, any shape begins with t divides by 2. So that's 10 times 6 divided by 2. Under no circumstances, disregard, do we use that length 8. 8 is a slanted height. We do not use slanted height in GCSE maths. Okay, under no circumstances do we use that to find area. So the 8's in to confuse you. 10 times 6 is 60. Half of that is 30. So the area of this is 30 centimeters squared. Again, don't produce 30 without showing the examiner how you got 30. We know this is 4 times larger. So if that's 30, 4 30s, that must be 120. So this is 120, and the area of the rectangle is length times height. So it's something times 9.6. So 120 divided by 9.6 gives you that 12.5. Take your time. Do all your workings. Plenty of workings out. Don't just produce 2 random numbers. Show the examiner all the work that you need to do. 4 easy marks if you follow the workings that has to be done. Question 9, probability. What's the probability of a nail being 24 millimeters long? Well, this is 24. We don't have it. All these numbers must add up to 1. Stick this number and this number and this number and this number into the calculator, and then do 1 minus that, and it gives you 0.05, because all probability must add up to 1. Part B, 3 marks, right folks? There are 60 nails in the jar, total 60 nails. How many nails are longer than 30 millimeters? Well, this here is longer than 30, this here is longer than 30. So add these 2 probabilities up. 0.25 and 0.35 gives you 0.60. So basically what they're asking you is to take this 60 and multiply it by the probability. 60 times 0.6 is 36 nails. That equates to 36 nails. Okay? Not the length or anything, 36 nails. So out of the 60 nails that are in the jar, 36 of them are more than 30 millimeters. Okay? Take your time. If I wanted to find how many nails were 20 millimeters, what you do is you would take the probability of 20, which is 0.215, and multiply that by 60, and I think that gives you 9. Okay, so there's 9 nails there. Take your time, work your way through them questions, and understand how to get those answers. Those questions there involve taking the number and multiplying it by whatever the probability is. Question 10 clearly must be a distance, speed, time graph again. The key thing to note, always work out the barriers. These are going up in 8s, these are going up in 0.2s, up in 10s, up in 0.2s. Put it in so the examiner can see. No doubt at some stage you'll need this information. Okay, the graph shows how two trains complete 400 kilometers. So that's 400 and that's 400. Which of the trains has the greater average speed? Distance, speed, time. Write it in. Explain your answer clearly. Okay, 3 marks for this. So the first thing you need to do is find the average speed for train A. Now, again, cover over speed, so it's distance divided by time. Distance here is 400 divided by the time, which is 5 hours, 80 kilometers per hour. Make sure that kilometers per hour in. So train A is doing 80 kilometers an hour. Train B, again, cover off the speed, so it's distance divided by time. Distance is 400 divided by time. Now, that time is from, there's 4, and they're going up in 0.2. 4.2, 4.4, that's 4.6. Use your ruler, bring it down. 400 divided by 4.6 is 86.96 kilometers per hour. Rounds that up to 87 kilometers an hour. Which train has the greater average speed? Well, B, because its average speed is 86.96 and A is only 80 kilometers per hour. Here we have a solving an inequality. Same information, same format as solving equations. First things first, put the barriers in, get the greater than sign in. This plus 3 has to come over and become a minus 3, so you're left with 4n equals 28 minus 3, which is 25. N equals that 25 divided by that 4, which gives you 6.25. 1, 2, 3, 4 lines is taking me to do it. Don't try and squeeze it into one line. Just have a go. If, for example, it was a sum like this here, 3y plus 4 less than 6, barriers in, 3y equals or less than 6, that becomes the minus 4, so 3y less than 2, put an R barrier, and so y is 2 divided by 3. Just take your time, folks, and work your way through that. Okay, the last one is a big 5-mark question, a lot of reading in it, so let's cut through it. So you've got fruit and veg, fruit by themselves and veg sold in per 100 grams. Fiona eats a total of 5 portions of fruit and veg each day. So between this, she eats 5 fruit and veg a day. She's a maximum of £12 to spend a week, and she buys at least 2 different types of fruit and 2 different types of vegetables. Show one way of buying the fruit and vegetables so she's enough for a week. First things first, £12 for the week, 12 divided by 7, she's roughly £1.71 to spend each day. So she can get carrots at 35p, beans at 40p, apple at 45, and 2 bananas at 25 each. That gives her 170. That gives her 1p less than what she needs, or 1p less, yes. So every day she can take the carrots, 35p, 100 grams of those. She can have beans, which is 40p, 100 grams of those. She can have 1 apple at 45p, and she can have 2 bananas, 2 25s. That's how much she can have in one day. Multiply it by 7 to get those totals there, and she spends £11.90. She's got 10p under the total spend, and that's what she gets for the full week.